So I'm just about to jump in the shower and having some tea that I forgot that I made. So that's why I haven't yet. And as I pace up and down the corridor here, um, waiting for me to finish my tea, I realized that my camera is actually blurry. Better. Not the best, but better. And I was thinking about the downsides of spirituality and the downsides of religion and the journey that we all go through. And it doesn't matter really how you start your journey or how you continue or go through and navigate your journey. It doesn't matter. But at every point of your journey, or at certain points, depending on your journey, obviously, you are going to have experiences where you think that you know it all. And it's kind of that spiritual ego in a sense, that religious ego. It's not badly intentioned. It comes from a place of, usually it's not badly intentioned, but it comes from a place of love and care for the other as you express things and you explain things. But it's important to understand in certain contexts that that information comes from a place of your ego trying to soothe itself. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because there is this person in one of the groups that I'm in. It's a WhatsApp group, and it's a spiritual people community, And this person is saying all about how they let it go, they've been going through a lot. A lot of circumstances have been happening to them and their home. And even though I can see where they're coming from, because they're talking about Zen Buddhism, they're talking about the concept of letting go. They're talking about Taoism, the concept of flowing with the water, flowing with the current rather than swimming against it. And this situation reminded me of these points that I'm making, which is, in this person's case, in this scenario, this person is going through a lot of things, but they're doing their best to not react emotionally or to not have any sort of reaction. Now, even though Stoicism and other similar philosophies are all about that, at the same time, we are all human and we do have emotions that we process. And in this case, this person is not processing these emotions because they are bad emotions. And therefore, in this current mentality, bad emotions are bad and shouldn't be expressed or shouldn't be felt. And in this case, the bad emotions are feelings and thoughts of catastrophizing, sadness and the fear of loss, and loss as well, the feeling of loss, especially in physical property loss, which has happened to this person. And I am in no way judging them or their process. I just can see my earlier self in them now. And what I'm trying to say is, this can also come from a place of ego from me, by the way. So take what I say with a pinch of salt, okay? Take what I say with a pinch of salt. I just looked up at the clock, 04:04. Anyway, this could be coming from a place of ego from me because I recognize my earlier healing stages within that person and their situation. But anyway, I digress. This person is afraid of feeling these negative feelings because they assume these negative feelings will create their reality. But in reality, what is happening, from at least my perspective, is they are suppressing their feelings because they have this idea that my thoughts will create my reality. And even though that is true, they don't want to feel the negative feelings because they think that that will create their reality. Whereas, as a counterpoint, in my personal experience, and you should test it yourself if you are resonating with this on any level, is you need to process your feelings in a safe place on your own, okay? Because you can process feelings with other trusted people, but you want to hear your own voice and your own thoughts. And when you're processing with other people, they might try to save you, they might try to make you suppress your emotions. It might not work out, okay, in the way that you're intending. That's why healing is a solo journey. It feels lonely because you have to heal and understand and feel and think and rationalize through all of the ways you see the world, all of the ways you interact with the world, all of the ways the world interacts with you. And I say you, I mean me. I'm talking about me. I should change that wording. I should change that wording. So every time I say you, I'm talking about me. I'm going to keep that in mind for future reference as well. There you go. There you go. Bear with me, because that's how we learn and that's how we grow. We have to catch these moments. When I'm addressing you, that's wrong. I mean, it could relate to you, but I'm talking about me and my experience. So only in moments when I'm making these mistakes and I bring the awareness into the moment, I'm able to change. But that demands that these moments of loss of awareness happen so I can regain awareness in these moments. And when I regain awareness, I correct the action. And the action, the more you correct the action, it becomes a habit. So hopefully soon I'll be talking about I and me more than you. Okay. Hope that makes sense. That will make sense. If you're here, that probably should make sense. Anyway, I heard a beep. I don't know if it was heard here or not. Maybe it was my drink swashing around in my cup. But anyway. So, I guess the main gist of this video is, if you're going through stuff, don't suppress your emotions, because I don't want to create this reality. Okay? I've done that before. I've done both. I've suppressed my emotions when I have gone through bad experiences. And what that caused to happen was just internal simmering. It was always there. Non-stop simmering, bubbling, until it starts to really bubble. And it comes to the surface whenever it's triggered. So that becomes a potential trigger for you. You hear something, you see something that reminds you of that simmering pot of water that is in your subconscious. Okay? So that might create a trigger that you react to, or that your body or your mind or your spirit or your soul, whatever you believe in, reacts to it. So it's best to process it in the present. And the way you process it, varies. Okay, so the way I process it varies in the context, in the moment. I am not perfect. I might still process in a way that I see as unfit or unhealthy for my own journey and where I want to be. But it's all about, again, practicing and bringing awareness into the moments when you are triggered, bringing the thoughtfulness into these moments of when your cortisol is spiking, or whatever, your norepinephrine, your blood is just spiking with cortisol and fight or flight hormones. I forgot the name of the hormone. Norepinephrine? I think that's it. Norepinephrine. It's the stuff they give you if you're passed out or you have a heart attack, to get your heart pumping. So in these emotional states, how I respond is going to be different every time. But the idea in my mind is to stabilize that, but at the same time owning my emotional and mental process, because I am human. My body is having emotional and chemical reactions due to outside stimulus. So it is my duty to be aware and not control, but to be with my emotions. And I see any sort of emotional suppression as being potentially damaging. This is from my experience, at least. The more I suppressed feelings and emotions, the worse the outcome was in one way or another. Now, I'm not saying that suppression is unhealthy. I think suppression, either unconscious or conscious suppression of feelings, painful emotions and experiences, thought patterns, I think it can be healthy until you're ready to deal with them, okay? But it shouldn't be used as an escape, because the more you suppress it, the bigger the risk of it just bubbling up automatically. That's why you get so many people who have gone through, their second Saturn return, also known as a midlife crisis, which is when all of those thoughts and feelings and early childhood desires that haven't been looked at, they just fucking bubble up out of nowhere, and you feel like you're lost and your life doesn't have meaning, and everything you've chased is what other people wanted you to chase, and that whole other beautiful mess. Now, I'm not saying that these are characteristics of a midlife crisis, because if that's the case, then I'm going through a midlife crisis, and I'm barely 30. So, yeah. I guess it's just a part of the spiritual, personal, emotional, and mental development that people go through. So I looked up to the clock, 11:22. I guess now is a good time to stop. If you're into angel numbers, 0404 and 1122 were the numbers for this video. If you're not, and you find that weird, then these are not for you, I guess. I guess these are not for you. But you know what? My tea, the very last bit of it, is now almost cold. It's barely lukewarm. So I'll finish this. It's just a gulp. And I'll pop in the shower. But if you do have any reflections or comments, pop in down below. I'm interested to see everybody's ways of seeing healing journeys, everybody's ways of processing emotions. And I could make a whole video on emotional processing if I wanted to. Maybe someday. I like videos to be spontaneous and unplanned. So that's why I'm waiting here just before a shower. How unplanned can that be, But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, great evening, great afternoon, wherever you are. It is rainy today. So yeah, take care of yourselves. Let yourselves process. And when you process, make sure you're feeling safe. And if you're not feeling safe, call someone. Go to someone who makes you feel safe. If you don't have anybody that makes you feel safe, go to a therapist, find a friend, go to your local community, your local church. Find someone who will give you a listening ear or a shoulder to cry on to help you process everything emotionally. Okay? And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I'm doing it because I want to, because I have goals and objectives and aspirations that require me to be a certain way before I get there. Okay? So, thank you for watching. Have a great one, and bye-bye!